Hi everyone, my name's Jeff. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about things to consider before going on a sporting event trip or concert trip, along with a few other tips. So the four basic questions you need to ask yourself before going on these event trips are: 1. How far away is the trip? 2. What type of trip are you going on? 3. The price of gas and flights in relation to the destination. And 4. Do you need to rent a car? So let's look at question number 1. How far away is the trip? If the trip's about 8 hours or less, I typically drive. Now, 8 to 13 hours, that's when I weigh my options a little bit. Everybody's different, but for me, if the price of flying is only $75 to $100 more, that's when I typically fly. Now, 13 hours or more, I typically just fly. So let's look at question number 2. What type of trip are you going on? Now, if you're going on a multiple event trip where you're stringing a couple concerts along, a couple games, or mixing the two, then that's when I would suggest driving, assuming it's within the 13-hour range. It's so much more, it's flexible. You're able to get different places by driving, so I would definitely suggest doing that if you're going with multiple, events going on. Now, if you're able to just go one place, you got a place to stay that you can walk to the event, you feel comfortable with that, and the price is affordable, then that's a good time to fly to an event. So let's look at question number 3. The price of gas and flights in relation to the destination. So the price of gas and flights can be very expensive, especially if you're going into a big event at a city. So the supply and demand a lot of times with very popular events is going to drive up the price of flights drastically. So the heavy demand of a popular location, such as like New Year's, say you're going to New York City or Miami on New Year's, the demand of that location with the limited supply of seats on the airplane is going to drive those prices up. So there's apps like Hopper that can help you predict the flight trends and help you make it more affordable. You need to plan a little bit for that though, and just take into account how popular those destinations can be. So the gas part, definitely important to make sure you know exactly like where you're going. The gas like in the Bay Area is going to be way more expensive than driving through the Southeast. So just kind of know where you're traveling through and the range of gas prices. So let's look at question number 4. Do you need to rent a car? For me, renting a car, it can be a good thing, especially if you're going a really long distance and you get a good price on it. For instance, me and my brother, we rented a car for $850 total, drove 7,700 miles, and rented it for 18 days. So that much mileage with, that type of price is a great time to rent. You need to just kind of look at it, and see, is this price average for renting a car? Is it really expensive? Just kind of ballpark it, just make sure that you're getting a good deal, because a lot of the places try to rip you off. Not all of them. There's some good ones, but you just got to make sure that, it's affordable for you and your situation. If you're going a really long distance, though, I would really suggest that you should definitely look into renting a car, because you can get some good deals, and you don't want to put your car that many miles on your car. So, biggest tip for driving to one of these event, concert, or game trips would be make sure you have a good, gas dependable car that's good on gas mileage, and make sure that you check your car about 2 weeks prior to going on one of these trips. It's definitely important to make sure that you have all those things lined up before you go on one of these major trips. Also, make sure you check the weather, because that can be a big factor in driving somewhere, especially October through April. If you're going somewhere that's typically cold, you don't want to be driving into a blizzard or anything like that. That would not be fun. So make sure you check the weather. That honestly could have been a talking point for me, but it's definitely very important. Biggest tip for flying is make sure you have a detailed plan. You don't want to just land and just wing it, you know what I mean? Just make sure that you know what you're doing, because if you land and you're not able to walk from public transportation to your lodging, it's just not a good idea. It's also a safety concern. You don't want to be wandering around a random place with no idea what you're doing. So just make sure you have a plan in place. And also, a good thing is, if you're staying at a hotel, call beforehand and see if they have any shuttles, free shuttles that'll transport you to and from the airport. That's also something that's been very helpful for me. Well, I hope you like these tips and some of these talking points that I provided today. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my video. So I really hope that all of you have just fun and safe travels on your next adventures.